Okay, so I've gotten so many messages about this skirt that I made, and I'm finally gonna make a tutorial. It's my first time trying to make a tutorial, so please bear with me. I'm gonna try and make it as easy and understandable as I can. So the skirt in question that everyone's been asking about is this one. So yeah, I'm gonna try to show you. It's fairly easy. I just did a freehand, so I'll just go or walk through the steps that I did to make it. So the first thing you want to do is to make a chain that's long enough to go around your waist. Make sure that it's long enough to pull up and down over your bum as well. So rather make it a bit larger rather than smaller. And it also needs to be in a multiple of 10 because that's how the pattern or the little shell stitch is worked. So I've already made my chain. You can use any yarn you want and needle size. Just make sure that it's the kind of material that you want. My original one was in a wool material or wool yarn, and I think I used a hook 6 maybe. I can't remember, but 6 I think. And obviously it takes a while, but now I want to make a very different one in cotton because the wool is very heavy, it's very warm, it's not really suited for summer, so just be aware of all this stuff whenever you pick out your yarn. And also if you use a smaller size yarn, it's going to be easier to make it more correct in terms of sizing because it has to be in in multiple of 10, so if it's a smaller yarn you have more room to make it a perfect size. Sorry for the babbling, but also for the first skirt that I made, I made it all fully and crocheted a string, basically kind of like a tie that I put through the loops or through some of the double crochets of the top of the skirt and tied it in the back into a little bow, which it can look really nice, but when I'm making it again now, I'm going to use an elastic band to put in the waistband. So I'm going to crochet around that now in the second round. This will just help it stay up and not leave you with any ties and strings hanging around. Once you've made your chain, I connected to the first chain that I made, so it's a loop. It's like a skirt. So yeah, just do a slip stitch into the first chain that you made. So I'm going to crochet around this elastic band. So what you want to do is that you want to hold it back with your right hand or left hand if you're doing it left-handed. I'm going to insert the hook into the first stitch underneath and then keep this behind and then go around it so it's encased within the single crochet. I'm not sure you can see that properly, but we're gonna do that again. You go underneath and put it inside, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull it through. Oh my god. So you basically just want to crochet around the elastic band. I'm going to do that all the way around. I'll keep showing you a little bit so you kind of get the gist of it. If you can even see that. I'll do it a little bit closer. Put it in, grab it from behind, and then pull through. And I'll try and just pull at it sometimes so that it straightens out and that we don't have to pull all the way. I don't know if it'll do it as well. You see how it, yeah, that's what you want. And you want to keep doing that all the way around. So before you reach the end, you want to stop and sew the two sides together so that it makes a full loop. I just did a hand stitch. Ideally, if you have a sewing machine, it would be much easier. But yeah, so just make sure that you do that before you get all the way to the end. And then you're gonna just finish it up. and then slip stitch into the first single crochet that we did, and then chain 2. And I try to pull it a little bit to even it out at the end here. And now we're going to start with the pattern that's going to be the whole way around. So what we're going to do for the first round now is just do a double crochet in every single stitch. And that's all you're going to be doing for this row. We're going to do this the whole way around. And then you'll meet me back at the other side. Now that we've finished our first row of double crochets, we're going to start on the pattern with the shell. So first, we're gonna do just 5 simple double crochets. And then we're gonna yarn over, skip 2, do a double crochet in this third little loop, and then we're gonna do another 4 in the same one. So you're gonna have 5 double crochets in the same stitch here. And then we're gonna yarn over again, skip 2, and then crochet into the third from the one we just crocheted into. And then you're gonna do another 4. So what you're basically gonna do is 5 double crochets just next to each other, and then you're gonna do a shell stitch, which is all combined into one stitch here instead of in all of the stitches. So that's like 5 and 5. That's why we had to make it as a multiple of 10, the chain in the beginning. Again, we're gonna yarn over, skip 2, crochet into the next one. Then you're going to continue that pattern all the way around. So this is basically the whole pattern. You're going to do every other row of just double crochets all around, and then the pattern of 5 double crochets, 1 shell stitch of containing 5 double crochets. I hope that makes sense. I also forgot to mention that for this pattern, you have to start every row of your shell stitch rows, every other one. So the first time you do it, you might start with the 5 regular double crochets, and then the next time you do a shell stitch row, you start with a shell stitch so that it becomes like what you see in this video and not all the shell stitches on top of each other. I also have no idea why the sound cut out of this video, but what I'm explaining here is that you just continue making the skirt however long you want until you want the split to start. And at that point, you need to no longer go around and around. You have to stop and go back and forth so it makes an opening for the slit. If you want one, you don't have to have one. But if you make it long, I definitely recommend it so that you can walk and move in it. I'll make a second video to show you how